Hello again. So now we're going to talk about augmented and diminished intervals. We're going to look at the same interval semitone chart that we've got that I'll send you, and then look at our book. So if you look on page 58, right here we have an augmented fifth. So if we play that on the piano, we have a fifth. Now, how many semitones are in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 in there. Okay, this has a sharp on the top for G sharp. So that's going to be an augmented fifth. You have your fifth, and then we're raising this to the sharp. And now we have an augmented fifth. Now, we know it's a fifth because there are 7 semitones. A perfect fifth has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we raised up this one, so it's an augmented fifth. Now if we look at this one here, we have an F and a B. Okay, there are no sharps or flats on there. So how are you going to know what it is? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semitones. So if we look on here, 6 semitones. It's going to be a tritone. It's either an augmented fourth or a diminished fifth. Okay, so is it a fourth or is it a fifth? When we look on there, there's no sharps or flats. Well, it's going to be an augmented fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semitones is a perfect fourth. A perfect fourth has 5 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, because it's a B, the reason it's a fourth and not a fifth is if it was a fifth, it would show this B as a flat. But it doesn't show it as a flat, so we know that it's a raised fourth, so it's an augmented fourth. So you would put aug 4 right there. Now we have a B and a B sharp. So we have a B and a B sharp. Oh, what is that? So we have a perfect unison on our B, and we have 1 semitone. So here we're looking at it says minor, but since we're talking about diminished and augmented, we're going to look over here. Now if you look at the top of the page, we have an example of an augmented first or perfect unison. That's just 1 note. So we've got on right here, we've got a G and a G sharp. Okay, so that's going to be an augmented first. We look back down here, it's the same thing. We're just raising it up a half step. Now, if it was a diminished second, because a major second has 2 semitones in it. So if we look at C, and this is a second, we see it has 2 semitones. It's got to have 2 notes right here. But here it doesn't. So if this was a diminished third, you'd have 2 semitones, and it would be like that. But it would be this one would be like a flatted. I know that's confusing, but because we don't have as many semitones, we know it's going to be augmented first. Okay, now we have an F and an A sharp. Okay, so how many semitones do we have between there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me pull this back up for a second. It has 5 semitones. But it can't be a perfect fourth right now because we're talking about augmented and diminished. So if we look at it, it's either this or it's this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 makes a what? It makes a major third.
Oh!
But we have an A sharp right here. So if we have an A sharp, that makes a what? An augmented third. Augmented third. So then we've got another one. C, F sharp. Okay, so C to F sharp. A sharp, I mean. Sorry. A sharp. So what is that? Let's see how many semitones we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 semitones. 10 semitones. Well, that would say it's a minor, but we're not talking about major and minor. We're talking about augmented and diminished. Now, do we have any sharps or flats with that? Yes, we do. So something has been raised. So let's take that sharp off and see what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What do we have here for 9? We have a major sixth. A major sixth. So what happens if we take a major sixth and we raise that 1/2 step? We are augmenting or diminishing it. We are augmenting it. So this would be an augmented sixth. So if you have questions like, I don't know, natural out these things, and say, what do I got now? If it's natural, how many semitones is it? We can look over here just to make sure what we've got. And then if it's raised or lowered, then we can decide what to put. So those are all augmented. Now we can look at diminished. So we have a diminished fifth. We have a C and a G. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 semitones is a perfect fifth. Now when we flat that top, we're lowering it a 1/2 step. And now we're turning that into an diminished fifth. And we're just lowering it. So now we have a diminished fifth. So diminished fifth. Oh my goodness, look at this. We have a double flat right here. So we have F and double flat A. Ooh, what is that? When you have a double flat, take one of them off and figure out what you got. 1, 2, 3. So you've got a minor. You have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 semitones is a minor third. So now what are we going to do here? Now we've got to flat it once again. So from F to A flat, 1 flat is a minor third. Now we're going to flat it again. We're going to have a diminished minor third. That's confusing. So diminished minor third. And then we can keep going on. So count. And then you're going to fill in these based on like a fourth, a diminished fourth. With your fourth, you're going to have 5 semitones. So you'll start on C. And you're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you have your perfect fourth. And you're diminishing it. So what you're going to need to do is put a flat for this F. And then you have a diminished fourth. Just add an F and put a flat. Okay, a diminished eighth. You're going to have an octave. And then you're going to need to flat this G. Then you have your diminished eighth. So, if you have any questions about that, you can ask me and I will send this little handy dandy thing to you, and that should be helpful. Alright, have fun! Bye!